Did you know that workers in certain professions tend to have a higher rate of divorce? If you think about it, it's not that big of a surprise because some jobs are just more stressful and prevent you from having a good work-life balance, which can take a toll over time on your marriage and unfortunately, ultimately lead to divorce. And there's been a study in 2017 by statistician Nathan Yau, who compiled data from the 2015 American Community Survey by the US Census. And using that data, he looked at divorce rates among about 500 different careers to determine which of them have the highest and the lowest divorce rates. And the results were actually pretty interesting. They reflect the chances of someone to experience divorce based on their jobs. So let's look at what those jobs actually are. In case you don't know me, I'm Dahlia. I'm a career strategist, and what I do is I help people land high-paid work they love that fits in with their life goals and their life plan so that they don't have to sacrifice their personal lives for their work lives. So, what are those professions with the highest divorce rates? Let me know below what profession you are, by the way. So the first one is actually bartenders with a rate of over 52%. And that job, it has an increased risk of alcoholism, unsocial hours, or overly social hours, you can say, and typically low wages. And though all of those issues can put a strain on a relationship, causing it to break down. Another one was telemarketers, which has a divorce rate of over 47%. And you might think that receiving telemarketing calls sucks, but try being yelled at by half of or more than half of the people you call. And working as a telemarketer can be a really stressful job, especially if you deal with a high number of those unpleasant calls every day. And then the chances that you're going to bring that stress and upset home after that hard day at work are also pretty high. And as a result, marriages can suffer when one spouse comes home tired and in a bad mood, leading to problems with the relationship. And so yeah, telemarketers are another one. Another one that was listed were dancers and entertainers. They have a divorce rate of over 46%. So dancers, choreographers, entertainers, and other certain artist type of jobs also have those high divorce rates, partly because their art must be a high priority for them in order to advance in their profession. That often means long hours filled with practice, performances, and that can also take its toll. Another one was nurses with a divorce rate of over 28%. That's due to random shift patterns, unsocial hours, and a high-stress workplace, which makes it very hard to put in the time and even the energy to maintain a long-term relationship. And what can often happen is that partners feel let down and alienated due to the nurse pulling away to go to work or to even recover from work, which can also put a strain on a marriage. Another one is a first-line military supervisor with a divorce rate of 30%. Obviously going into combat, managing and leading enlisted service members. The report noted that job stress and longer deployments are some of the reasons why that job has such a high divorce rate. Another one is metals and plastic machine setters and operators, which has a divorce rate of 49 to 50%, which is extremely high. And so I never would have thought about this one, but rolling machine setters, operators, and tenders for metals and plastic have a really high rate because these similar careers all fall within the manufacturing industry, and those workers fall into two categories that quickly lead to apparently a marriage falling apart, which are both low rates of income and lack of a college education, which turns out are factors for divorce. And individuals in that area often experience higher rates of unemployment as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously, if you are in one of these careers, that doesn't mean you're definitely heading to divorce, and it doesn't mean if you're not in one of those jobs that you're not going to get divorced. I just think it's really interesting to look at the correlation between your job and your career and the rest of your life, whether it's your relationships, your health, everything. Your career really affects everything in your life. And it just goes to show that you can't silo out your work from other aspects. You need to think about, hey, how is my life as a whole looking? How are my relationships? How's my mood? How is my schedule? My environment, all those kinds of things, and make sure you're creating the life that you want and that you're not necessarily sacrificing one thing for another. Now, you might be saying, look, I love my job, but it's high-powered, it's stressful, that's just how it is. So how am I supposed to maintain a relationship if that's another one of my goals? And I think that's an interesting question. I would love to know below your thoughts and experience on that. But I do think that at different stages of your life, you might be able to prioritize different things. So you have some people who prioritize their career in their 20s and 30s, and then they focus on a relationship later on in their life, or another aspect of their life later on, or vice versa. Of course, it also depends on finding the right person who understands that about you and understands that you have this high-powered career, and that's something that you integrate into your relationship and you're able to discuss together and figure it out. But I'd love to know from you. Obviously, I'm not a relationship expert, I'm a career expert, but I do help a lot of people to find that life balance for themselves where they're able to hit their goals. And I have a number of clients who say, hey, I've been working really hard for a decade now, and I'm realizing that if I don't start focusing on my love life or my relationship, or sometimes it's even my family, my kids, then that's going to fall apart if I don't start paying more attention to that, or if I don't find a job that allows me to prioritize those things, because it's been too long that I've just prioritized my job, getting stuff done for work, and not the other aspects of my life. And ultimately, I'm not going to be happy if I don't start putting a bit more focus into that area. So I think that those studies are really interesting, and it's just interesting to think about those different factors. But I'd love to know from you, how do you feel your job or your career has affected your love life or your relationships? And we can continue the discussion below. I have many more examples, actually. I have, clients who, after finding their dream jobs, they start getting much better dates, they start opening up, they start having just better relationships in general. So let me know your own experience. I hope that this was an interesting video for you. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.